Hi Year 5! Welcome back. I hope you had a lovely weekend. Thank you for joining me again today for another week of maths learning. You need to start off today by getting yourself a pencil and a piece of paper. And today we're going to be looking at multiplication again, but a little bit different, 2-digit by 2-digit today. So we're going to take you through the method and see how it works out. Before we get started, as always, we're going to have a look at the TT Rockstars leaderboards from last week, and then I'll show you the quiz and the challenge that I've set for you today, and then we'll get into it. Should we take a look at the leaderboards? And the results are in. Here they are. The results from the sound check session that was set for you last week that finished on Friday the 15th of January. So let's take a look at who made it onto the top 3 for each class. So in 5T we've got Joshua, Kelvin and Lily May. In 5W we've got Joshua, Caleb and Riley. And in 5P we've got Katie Bow, Alex and Erin. And in 5E we've got Matty, Jackson and Ben. Well done to all of you. I'm awarding you each a dojo point for aspiration for your efforts on that challenge. Congratulations. The next leaderboard we're going to take a look at today are the results from the addition and subtraction challenge that I set you on MathShed. In first place we have 5W. Congratulations 5W. I'm awarding each of you a dojo point for family because you've all worked together to get your class to first place, so well done and congratulations. In second place we have 5T, in third place we have 5P, and in fourth place we have 5E. Well done guys, I hope you all enjoyed that challenge. So for today's challenge, I've actually set you a quiz on QuizShed. Now to get there, you'll need to log into MathShed or Spelling Shed like you normally would, and then click at the tab at the top that says QuizShed. When you go onto there, you should have a quiz assigned to you for 4-digit by 1-digit multiplication, but in case it hasn't assigned to you correctly, I've popped the quiz code on the screen now, so you could pause the video here and copy that one down. That's just in case it doesn't appear, because it will give you an option box to type the code into at the top. This quiz ends on Friday the 22nd of January. Good luck everyone, I hope you enjoy playing. I'm going to show you now how you can find the quiz. Okay, so when you log into EdShed, you'll see this screen. It will show you your assignments, challenges and leagues at the top, with Spelling Shed, Phonics Shed, MathShed and QuizShed. Now we're going to click on QuizShed. And then just over here, I'm doing this ahead of time, so it's not actually active at the moment because it's Friday for me. So this here is where the quiz will show on Monday, the 18th of January. You just have to click it and go into the quiz. Now, if for whatever reason the quiz isn't there, don't worry. Just type in this code, as you can see on the screen, into the bar just above. Q, H, B, O, M, T and N. They've got to all be case sensitive, so capital letters for me if possible, please. And then click play. Once you've selected play, it will come up with the quiz as so. So this is a multiplication quiz for multiplying 4-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers like we did last week. It's a bit of a recap on what we did last Thursday and Friday. So click start game. Now as you'll see along the top here, there's a bar that's going. Please don't worry, it's not timed. It makes no difference if you answer it before that blue bar gets to the end of the yellow here. Okay, so don't worry. Now it's really, really important that you answer it in the format that it says here. So what you've actually got to do is you've got to type in the question as well as the answer. So I can look at the grid here and figure out that says 3,500. So I'm going to put 3,574, and then it's multiplied by 2 because there are 2 rows of that number. So I multiply it by 2 and press equals. Now I've got to work it out. As you can see, the blue bar has ended. It's not there anymore. It hasn't told me that I'm wrong or incorrect. It's still allowing me to answer it. So you could jot that question down and work it out in the ladder method like we have done last week. Once you've figured out the answer, you type the answer into here. You haven't got to put commas between your answer if you don't want to. It's not a problem. It's not sensitive to that or not. Once you've typed in the answer, press go, and it will tell you whether your answer is correct or incorrect. Then collect next to move on to the next question. Okay then Year 5, it's time for your start activity this morning. Here are 4 questions that I'd like you to work out the answers to. So for question 1, you'll need to use a ladder method or a short written method that we looked at last Thursday and Friday in maths to help you. For question 2, it says what is the perimeter of the square? Now think carefully what perimeter is and about the properties of a square. What do you know that will help you to work out the answer to that question? Question 3 is what is 5 squared? Now think carefully, what does it mean 5 squared? What do we have to do to find the answer? And question 4 says Max saves £15. He spends £2.50 on a magazine. How much does he have left? Okay, pause the video here, but make sure you join me back in a moment to go through the answers. Okay, welcome back. How'd you get on? Let's go through the answers. So the answer to 2,713 times by 8 is 21,704. Well done if you got that answer correct. Okay, question 2. Perimeter, you're right, means the distance around the outside of a shape, okay, or of an area, a place. And the square property was that each side is worth 5 centimetres, because the property of a square is that every side is the same length. So that should really be just 5 add 5 add 5 add 5, which makes 20 centimetres. So well done if you got that answer correct. Okay, what is 5 squared? What does that mean? Absolutely right, Year 5. Well done, I'm really impressed with your memory of that. It means 5 times 5. So the answer is 25. And then the last question, you had to subtract £2.50 from £15, and the answer is £12.50. Okay, before we move on to today's learning, I just want us to refresh our memories after the weekend of what we did last week, because that's going to help us to get into what we're doing today. So, it's just a check session and your turn now. There are 2 questions on the screen and I'd like you to work them out, preferably using the short written method rather than the ladder method if you can. But if you need to use the ladder method to help remind you, that's absolutely fine. Here is an example of the short written method on the screen for you to be able to see how we would work this out, just to remind ourselves. But could you pause the video now and have a go at question 1 and 2, but make sure you join me back here afterwards to go through the answers. Okay, then how did you get on? Shall we go for the answers? The answer to question 1 was 1,644 and the answer to question 2 was 38,586. Well done if you got both those correct. If you didn't, don't worry, might be able to see now where you've made a mistake and hopefully it will help you to correct it. Okay, so our learning objective today is to multiply a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. Now, last week we were multiplying by a 1-digit number, whether it was a 3-digit, a 4-digit or a 2-digit, it was always multiplied by a 1-digit number. Now, that means today there's going to be something slightly different when we look at laying out our work, but don't worry, I'll go through that in just a moment. So we need to still be thinking about our multiplication facts and our times tables and what we know to help us, thinking about the digits and our place value and laying it out carefully in columns. But today we're going to have a really important thing to remember, a place value holder, and that's the 0. It's going to be really, really important to remember that 0 when we come to doing our written work. But don't worry, I'll mind you that afterwards. Now, what's the big picture? Why are we doing this? Now, in banks, they'll do this to work out how much money they might have counted. So if they've got, for example, £20 notes, they might have to do a 2-digit by 2-digit multiplication to work out how many £20 notes they've got. And you'd also use it in your homes. So I've recently had to measure the area of my hallway to find out how much carpet I need to purchase. So that meant I had to measure the length and the width, and that ended up being a 2-digit number multiplied by a 2-digit number. So this method helped me to work out how much carpet I need to buy to go in my hallway. Okay, so here is an example of a question that's a 2-digit number multiplied by a 2-digit number. Now, like I've already mentioned, last week I'd have done this if it was just a 4 here, not with the 10 there, the 1 in the tens column. So I don't really know how I might lay this out. I know it might look similar to the method we used last week, but I'm not quite sure. Perhaps you'd like to pause the video now and maybe give it a go yourself. See if you can work it out, remembering that it's going to look a little bit like the short written method that we used last week. But see if you can figure anything out. Pause the video now and give it a go. Okay, should we take a look together? So, and here I have got the written method. As you can see, I've laid it out thinking about my 10s and my 1s. You think about my place value. And I've got 23 here and 14 underneath. Now, I've broken it down quite similar. So let's go through how we work each part of that out. So to start with, I've taken, rather than just 23 times 4, I've broken this down in my head. I've done 4 times 3, which would have been the single digit multiplied by the 1's digit last week, and that equals 12. So I put the 2 here and I've carried the 1, just like I did last week on Friday and before that as well. The next step is that I've done 4 times 20, so the single digit times by the tens. So I could just do 4 times 2, my known factor help me, which is 8, add the one that I've carried, which makes 9, but because it's in the tens column, it's 90. So that's that bit done. So that would have been, last week, the answer to that question. But now I've got my tens digit to think about as well. So, before I can start thinking about that, this is where the place value holder comes in really, really important. It's really important that we remember to put this here. If we forget, it would mean that the 3 might go in the ones column, and then that would give us the incorrect answer. It's because this digit here, the tens digit, is 10 times bigger than the ones digit we were doing earlier. So that means that this place value holder helps to keep everything in the right place. So it's really important we put that there before we start working out the rest of our answer. Now I can do 1 multiplied by 3. Now I know this is 10 really here, but I'm going to say it's 1 for today because I have put my place value holder there already. And that would mean if I did 10 times 3, I'd get 30, and that would mean I'd put an extra 0 here, and again it would give me the incorrect answer. So we're going to do 1 times 3, which is 3, and as you can see I've placed it here. Next I'm doing 1 times 2, that's equals 2, and I've placed that here. Now really, yes, it is 10 times 20, but because we've got that place value holder here, I haven't got to worry about that. I can just do 1 times 2 to figure out the answer. Now that we've done all those calculations, we've just got to add them together to find the total product, which is 322. Okay then, Year 5, so it's my turn. Here I have the question 54 multiplied by 15. I've set it out, as you can see, in my tens and my ones, thinking about my place value. I then drawn a line underneath, left a space for the workings out that I'm going to complete, and then 2 more lines for where the total is going to go, the product of 54 multiplied by 15, the answer. Okay, so I'm going to start off by doing the 5 multiplied by the 4. So what would have been, if that's not there, our single digit multiplied by our ones that we did last week. So I'm going to do 5 times 4 first of all. 5 times 4 I know is 20. So I'm going to put my 0 here, and I'm going to carry my 2, very small, so I'm going to have to do more working out here, into my tens column. Now I'm going to do 5 times 5. I know it's really 5 times 50, but I'm going to use my known factor 5 times 5 to help me. 5 times 5 I know is 25. So add the 2 that's here, makes 27. So I'm going to put 7 here, and I haven't got anything else, got no hundreds to multiply by, so I'm not going to carry the 2, I'm just going to place the 2 here to make 270. So what we've just done there is 5 multiplied by 54. And I've broken that down, like I said, into 5 times 4 and 5 times 50. Okay, so that's how I've broken that down. Okay, next part now. I'm forgetting about my 5, and I'm going to start looking at my tens. I've got 1 10 here. But first, before I can do that, I've got to make sure I put my place value holder in. It's really important, the 0 that we need to put in. Now I'm going to even draw a smiley face in mine so we can remember him, that he needs to help us with our working out today. Okay, now I'm going to do 1 times 4. I know this is really 10, but I'm going to think that it's 1 because I've already got that 0 there. So 1 times 4 I know is 4. And then 1 times 5 I know is 5. So what I've just done is 10 multiplied by 54. Now I need to add up my answer. I've got 0, 0, starting with my ones column. Move to my tens, I've got 7, if we get this 2 here, we've already used him. 7, add the 4, which I know is 11. So 1 there, carry the 1 underneath. And then 2, add 5, I know is 7, add 1 more, makes 8. The answer to 54 multiplied by 15 is 810. Okay then, Year 5, it's our turn now. We're going to work through this question together. So I'll give you a moment just to jot down the question that I've got here. 39 multiplied by 22. Make sure you set it out in exactly the same way, thinking about your place value of your tens and your ones, and leaving the gap for your working and the space for your answer at the end. Okay, let's get started. So, remember my top tip. We're going to forget about this digit for a moment and work like we did last week. we're going to do our single digit multiplied by our ones, and then the single digit multiplied by our tens. So we're going to start off with 2 times 9. What's 2 times 9, year 5? Absolutely right, it's 18. So I place my 8 here, and I'm going to carry the 1 into my tens column, but nice and small, because I don't want to get in the way of my other working out later. Again, I'm going to cover this one over, and I'm going to do 2 times 3. Absolutely right, it's 6. I know really it's 2 times 30, but I'm using my known fact of 2 times 3 to help me. So you're right, it's 6. Really, it's 60, but that's okay. So 6, add the 1 here, makes 7, or 70. I haven't got any hundreds to multiply, just my tens. So I've just done 2 times 39, and I break that down into 2 times 9, and then 2 times 30. Okay, next step. Now, there's something I need to remember before I can start my working out. What is it, year 5? That's right, my place value holder. It's going to be really important to remember this. I'm going to put my smiley face inside there too. Okay, now I can start. So I'm looking at my tens this time. I'm doing 2 times 9. That's right, 18. Let's put our 8 here and carry the 1. There's no hundreds column there, but let's pop that in because we're going to be working over here now as well. Then I've got 2 times 3. Absolutely right, it's 6. But remember this one here, just like before, it's changing to 7. Fantastic. So I've just done 20 multiplied by 39. Fantastic. What have I got to do now? Add them together, well done. So we start at our ones column. 8 add 0 makes 8, well done. 7 add 8 makes 15. So we put the 5 here and carry the 1. And 7 add 1 more makes 8. So 39 multiplied by 22 equals 858. Well done if you got the same. Okay, now it's your turn. I'd like to have a go at the question 76 multiplied by 35. Make sure you lay it out in the same way that we have here on the board. If you're stuck, you can always go back and watch the part of this video where I explain the method. That's okay, doesn't matter how many times you watch that to help you. Okay, pause the video now, but make sure you join back here afterwards for the answer. Welcome back. How'd you get on? Great work, well done for persevering, I'm so proud of you. The answer you should have to 76 multiplied by 35 is 2,660. Congratulations if you got the same. If not, don't worry. Always remember you can go back and watch other parts of the video like I've already mentioned. Okay, let's have a look at your chili challenges. Here's chili 1. There are 6 questions on the screen for you to work out. Make sure you set your working out just like we've done in this video. Your tens and your ones for both of the numbers, and then you've left spaces underneath for your calculations, and then 1 at the bottom for your answer 2. For chili 2, you have got some questions on the board here. For these 4 questions, I'd like you to calculate them using the written method that we've gone through today. For question 2, Mo is calculating 34 multiplied by 23. Here is his working. What mistake has Mo made, and what is the correct answer? And for question 3, can you have a go at spotting the error that's been made in this calculation here? And finally, here's chili 3. For the first question on chili 3, it's a word problem. A machine prints 92 labels every minute. How many labels will it print in 3/4 of an hour? Well, before I can figure anything out, I've got to work out how many minutes 3/4 of an hour is. Once I've done that, I should be able to find the answer. Question 2. Amir has multiplied 47 by 36. You can see he's working out here. Alex says, Amir is wrong because the answer should be 1,692, not 323. Who is correct, Amir or Alex? And what mistake has been made by one of them? And then finally, Tommy says, for question 3, it is not possible to make 999 by multiplying 2 two-digit numbers. Do you agree with him? Can you explain your answer? For that question, Year 5, you'll need to investigate it a little bit more. Have a few attempts at multiplications using the written method that we've gone through today and see if you can get 999. Good luck. And that brings to the end of today's lesson. Thank you for joining me, Year 5. As always, please make sure you send your work into the Year 5 email address, as we'd love to see your efforts on today's lesson. We've been overwhelmed with the work you've been sending in so far. Not only has it been beautifully presented, but it's also shown how hard you're persevering with our multiplications. So well done. Okay, join me back here tomorrow for some more. I'll see you later. Bye.